city, even our very own Galesburg. Galesburg is a silent town in Illinois that very few know of, and what most people consider a peaceful, quiet town is actually a town full of divorce and murder. Guess you can't even file for a divorce without getting murdered these days. Okay, sorry, maybe this isn't the time.
For some backstory, in late July of 1985, there was a couple named Delia and Antonia Santa Maria who had been married for 26 years and had many adult children. There were many times when Delia had already attempted to leave her husband, but every single one had failed. So by this point, she had finally had enough and decided to divorce Antonio. After hearing this, Antonio said he'd rather kill her and himself than go through a divorce. By August 9th, she had given him the divorce papers. The next day, Delia went to work while Antonio went to Sears and bought a food processor. On the 11th, Delia failed to show up to work, which was very unusual for her. Afterwards, it was found out that Antonio used the meat processor to cut Delia into pieces because traces of blood and hair were found in the processor. He also attempted to return it to Sears, saying his wife didn't like it. A court decided that he had most likely initiated the attack due to the divorce. He was sentenced to life in prison with no parole and died in 2001.
But that case was in the 80s. Now, almost 40 years later, police are investigating a case involving a dad and his missing child. But we think there's something more, hidden deep within the depths of the city. The case revolves around 43-year-old John Davis Smith, who was a regular father within a regular family. But behind closed doors, he was abusive, toxic, and drunk. Recently, after an ordeal at the park, Smith was taken into custody and forced into rehab, though after a couple of months, he seemed to be doing better.
He seemed like such a great guy. He was really trying to get better and even made me a friendship bracelet. He seemed off from time to time, but I just assumed it was the withdrawal from the alcohol getting to him.
John was a great guy. He seemed sad after his wife's divorce finally went through. But when he moved in next door, he was an awesome neighbor. He got into gardening, brought me tomatoes every so often. His kid came over to visit him sometimes, and I'd always see him playing football in their backyard.
After rehab, John ended up getting a respectable corporate job and made a decent living for himself doing so.
He got into baking, and he brought us brownies, but looking back on it, they didn't taste very good. And he always was door dashing food. That was kind of weird.
However, like with everything, John Davis Smith has a dark side. Let's hear from his ex-wife, Janice Jo Anthony.
He was fine in her first years, perfect even, but then that all changed when we had our kid.
On the Saturday of October 18th, 2025, their child, Jane Doe Smith, was reported missing. The prime suspect is none other than John Davis Smith himself. His past actions just cannot be ignored. Now, I'll hand it over to the head detective investigating this case.
We have mountains and mountains of evidence piling up against John Davis Smith. We are in the process of locating him after he went missing in the middle of his interrogation.
This is outrageous. I did not kill my kid. I have the right to remain silent. I want a lawyer. Actually, I'm getting out of here.
Here is a photograph of Smith. He is 4'9" and 43 years old. Now, let's hear from some more voices on the matter. We have gotten into contact with a mailman who typically goes around John's neighborhood.
I don't know why I'm here, man. I was just doing my job.
Missing child, Jane Doe Smith, was last seen in a park with a friend.
We were playing with the ball, and I won because I'm cooler. And then we got ice cream from the ice cream truck. And then we were playing and we ate the ice cream. And I fell down the slide. It was really bad. And then we were playing tag. And then we just kind of sat there.
But even before adulthood, John was struggling deeply with his emotions.
He's always been crazy. He used to chase us around with like a giant bug.
Yeah, he used to get really angry over little things too.
But then, the possible motive was revealed, and finally, the police were starting to get somewhere.
Well, can we keep this between just the three of us?
Yeah, if you could, that would be great.
Well, he believed that Jane wasn't his. I was just delivering mail. Please, I'm gonna lose my job.
When asked about it, the mother denied any resemblance between the mailman and Jane, claiming Jane was a spitting image of John.
That's preposterous! Jane's a spitting image of John!
Guys, it's been too long. Where could the child be?
It's all over the news. Who even knows if she's still out there?
Don't say that. She has to be out there somewhere.
Yeah, I have a feeling someone knows exactly where she is.
Yeah, sorry guys. Let's get to it. We already know his motive, so it's just a matter of time.
Having taken note of all the evidence so far, we can almost certainly say that all fingers point to John Davis Smith as the primary suspect. But during the second search of the house, the news we were hoping for became all but tragic. Hey, does this house have a basement?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it would show up on the building plans, right?
Yeah, it would, unless it's new.
Well, I think I just found one.
Wait, really? Wait. Guys, over here.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I think I'm gonna be sick.
No. We were too late. No.
On the tragic day of October 25th, 2025, the body of Jane Doe Smith was found in her father's basement. The family of the girl is deeply saddened, as is the team of detectives who found her body.
I just want my kid back. I just want my kid back. I want my kid back.
John is still at large, and it is confirmed that he is the murderer. So please, if there's any information about his whereabouts, call it in immediately.
Hello, Galesburg Police Office. How can I help you?
Hello, I think I see John Davis Smith, you know, the man from his wanted posters all around town in the news.
Okay, we're sending someone there right now.
That's it.
Don't I have to catch you? Don't I have to catch you?
That is the end of this tragic case. It is deeply sad to us what has occurred, but please, stay for the end, where we will show a little bit about Jane and her family. That is all for tonight. Thank you.
Wait.